my parents were saying always, if you have a teacher you trust, you follow them completely. If they say like that, it's like that. I have
Welcome. Another Wednesday. A long time since we did a talk show in English. Tonight with us is Miha. Hi, Miha.
hello, hi everybody.
So, all right, now it's good. Cool. So yeah, and we have talk shows now in English. So in 2 weeks, another one, and then also on. It's a little bit, let's say, a little bit more difficult for me to find people willing to talk in English, or I know more Slovenians than English speaking people so far. But anyway, Miha, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. I just came home, so I'm like my body is starting to calm down, slow down, so I'm ready to talk.
All right, awesome. Now you will only need mouth.
Hopefully. Hopefully no dancing involved right now, huh?
Yeah. Okay, unless you will want to, and then you have to move everything,
Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
or if the chat demands it.
I
No,
have
we
to
want to
redo
see.
my library. Yeah, I have to
Redo your library.
redo my
That's
library.
your library.
Yeah, yeah,
I
like a
mean,
library room, something like
okay,
that.
okay,
Yeah,
awesome. So the purpose of that room, you go in there and read books or chill or.
yeah, and I have my small office stuff,
Mhm.
and yeah.
All right. Awesome. 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 So yeah, I'm really glad you say yes. So I thought you know a little bit who I am because I was also dancing, but that was 16 years ago since I stopped dancing ballroom dances. But yeah, anyway, that was like a bit, but I just let it go. I was like, all right, cool, guys, here, let's have a chat, let's talk. Uh, so yeah, it's an honor to have you with us, to be honest, because I said to people, I said it to the community, when I think about self confidence, you're the guy who pops in my mind. Anytime I looked at you, I also saw you on the faculty of economics. I think you did that as well. So I was also
Mhm.
studying that, so it's kind of like always
Cool.
around, but never,
My
never
God,
crossing paths. Um,
my God.
so yeah, always see you as a guy who is center and know what he's doing and what he's up to. So I'm really curious, right, about where did you get that? How was that for you? Was that always there for you, or is something that you learn or stuff like that?
Oh my God. I mean, like what you're talking about right now is like one of the biggest question marks in my life. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it's never been there. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I never felt like it was there. So uh, I always tried to catch it, and when I thought I did, I realized I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I think my main motto was fake it till you make it. This was my starting point. Fake it till
Okay.
you make it, and I faked it until I made it.
All right.
So
Sounds legit.
it
Now
was
we will
a
look. Now we.
really long way. It was a really long way. Okay, it was like was not easy. Okay, it
Yeah.
was not easy, and trying to find yourself, trying to find what keeps you above the water. Okay, and what is the thing that triggers that thing. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so is very interesting searching in your life.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. Awesome. Now we're gonna look behind that,
that was
right?
short. That
The-
was like really short. I cannot describe the whole way, but that was really short.
yeah, I got that. And now we will go behind it, and but through. Let's say it's definitely so put together with what you're saying now and the questions we're gonna look into in from now on. So anyway, we always start talk shows with the question, who or how were you being as a teenager? Like, what were you dealing with? How was those years for you, right? So we know body changes, the hormones start kicking in. So how did you dealt with all this situation, and everything you did in your life at that time?
To be honest, it was not easy growing up as a dancer. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
especially not a male dancer. Um, especially primary school and stuff. This was like, I mean, I started dancing because I had so much energy. I had like loads of energy, and Like everybody, all the teachers were saying to my parents that, oh my God, you have to do something with this kid. You have to put him to do something because he's going nuts as long as he's in one place, right? So you gotta do something in order to make him move, in order to release this extra energy that he's got. And the fact that they didn't know was that my parents were already doing all of that, okay, and I still had that excessive energy left. So so I started because of that. I really, to be honest, don't really know why dancing. Okay, I don't know why exactly dancing, but I think it was primarily because of all the people involved in all of that. And once I started, I became quite good. I mean, was not very difficult for me to do it, and I realized I could do it, and I didn't want to stop since then. And now don't let me get lost, okay?
All right.
So I started with the question how I actually started. The next thing is how did I proceed into becoming who I am today? And I think that since everything was so difficult in, let's say, primary school and everything, I think that
can
my
you give us a
escape.
little bit of background, right? Because
Yeah,
I was doing that too, so I know you can get bullied easily, right? Oh, you're a
exactly,
dancer, blah blah blah, like that. So
exactly.
how did you deal with that, right?
Was not easy. Was not easy. Sometimes it was really, really difficult. The only thing that kept me up was actually the thought of going back home and going to practice again. This is like the really, really only thing that kept me going, and a few friends that I actually got, and I honestly have them till today. So the ones that I had, I still have them today. So they are really, really honest and very faithful, right?
Right. So
And
basically,
people I
people
can
who
count on.
supported you,
Yeah, exactly,
that is
exactly.
important, right?
But I always knew that there is something beyond being bullied and everything. I always had like a secret agenda, like a secret plan. You can bully me however you want. I know that in the end, I will be the one coming out successful and the winner, actually. So
where did you
this was,
get
of
that?
course,
I mean, in
this was also
primary
the
school, yeah.
support. I think this was the support from my parents as well, because okay, maybe my father didn't really love the idea of me dancing. Okay, maybe my mother loved that idea much more. Uh, but I never ever got the feeling of being left behind. I always felt supported. I always felt that they are there for me, and they always encouraged me in a way that I have to wait till I get to the point where everything will be repaid. Something like that.
All right.
Plus, of course, love for dancing, of course, love for the movement itself. This physical activity always kept me up, no matter what happened to me in my life. It's taking a step back and going back to back to my body, back to my physical activity is the thing that actually kept me up constantly.
It was like your safe place.
Of course, for sure. And music, music and my body, for sure.
Yeah.
Without music and without this physical activity, I wouldn't make it that far, I think.
All right, got it. And then in high school, right? Did you go to a regular gymnasium or sports gymnasium?
No, I actually went everything regular. Everything irregular. So I actually did quite good in school. I did like really good in school. And when I finished the primary school, I could easily go wherever I wanted. But I could continue with anything really. But the idea was that I had like main goal in my head was dancing, even though my parents were saying like, no, school is number one, you have to do this, you have to do that, otherwise we somehow have to punish you in a way for you not to go to your practices and everything. So I kept my school and my gymnasium work and stuff very active. I did the regular student job that I had to do. I came home at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and at 4 o'clock I was already practicing. So uh, so my yeah, how to put it, I was completely involved into my dancing, and everything that was extra was cool.
Mm.
So it was a little bit different in my parents' head anyway. So
Yeah, I got that, right. And how did you deal with that, right? So there is this, you have this passion for something, you discover it, and then parents are concerned about how you will survive with this. They don't see it possible, right? It's and coming from a place of love and care for you, and want you to be safe, which is like normal for parents. So how was that for you, right? You were there doing things, you were good in school, and they still had this school is more important, is more important.
how I dealt with that, I said, okay, I will do my thing. I did my thing. I did my studies. I did everything I had to do in order to do my secret path, which
Mm.
was secret path, right?
Mm.
I mean, it's very difficult because you have to trust your kid, right? And your
Mm.
kid is like 15, 16 years old, and he or she is deciding for whatever they want to do in their life, right? And to be honest, it's very, very difficult to trust them
Mm.
or trust us, right? Um, but you just have to. You have to give them their way. You have to give them their path, because you never know where this path will lead them anyway.
Mm.
Uh, it it might not mean that they will become a world champion, right? It might not, but they might become the best teacher. They might become the best choreographer. They might become the best psychologist because of this world, because of dancing world. Because I mean, there is so many things that this gives you, right? This
Mm.
world of dancing gives you, in my eyes, of course, in my perspective. Um, and you can do so many things. I will stick to one thing that keeps me going also, is that you will be very, very, as long as as long as you are the best in what you do.
Mm.
It doesn't matter what you do. It really doesn't matter what you do, as long as you are the best, as long as you put all your efforts to that. And
All right.
it has to be a thing that pulls you, it has to be a thing that drives you, it has to be a thing that you believe in, and that you see yourself doing that thing, that role in your life. And you have to see yourself there. You
Mm.
have to imagine yourself standing right there and doing the things that you want to do.
And you did that at the age of 15, 16. You had that.
I had that gradually.
All right.
I had that gradually. I had the whole faith. I had my whole trust in my own capabilities, in my
Mm.
own love, in my own um, thing. Right?
Yeah.
Uh, I really wanted to do that thing, and I didn't want to do anything else. And I never questioned myself: do I want to do something else? Do I
Mm.
like, what is the plan? Where is this going? Really? Uh, I had no idea where that was going. I just went.
Yeah, I got it, right. It's just like you went. It's same was for me. It was like, you have passion, you want to do it. And yeah, all right, there are competition. You want to get better and better and better. And that was mainly the focus, as I remember when I was young, right? Just getting better and
Yeah,
better and better and do better at the next competition and better.
yeah.
All right, so we will look a little bit more into that. But as big as a teenager, right? You also start, your body changes, girls are in there. How did you deal with that when you were a teenager? Or like, was that a focus? Was that not a focus? Even though, we were dancers, so we were meeting girls like regularly. Or since for me it was since age of 8. So when did you start dancing?
I
How?
started dancing when I was 7,
Yeah,
so
right. So we were meeting
quite early.
like, yeah, right. So we were meeting girls since age of 8. you were holding a girl every day. I
Not
mean,
just
every
meeting,
day.
right? Not
Yeah,
just meeting.
yeah. Not just seeing them or seeing them over the glass or in the next dance hall or something, but being with them.
Exactly.
So how did you deal with that? Like, were you a player? Were you like a guy who was really shy with them? It's like when it comes to that thing.
I was extremely shy. I feel like I was extremely shy. Um, I mean, thankfully, girls like me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, I have. I mean, but I was shy as, oh my god. I honestly needed like instructions. Okay, what the hell I have to do? But thank God that the girls like me, so everything went smoothly. Uh, but yeah, I think the game changer for me was like the third grade of gymnasium or something like that. Like really a game changer in a way of actually understanding the fact that I actually have like an advantage in front before everybody. I mean, before all the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Before, because of all the bullying from the primary school and everything, like, oh, you're dancing with the girl and stuff, and I was like, shit, and what, should I be dancing with the guy? So anyway, this changed, I think, only in like third grade of gymnasium. Like it was actually, honestly, it was quite late.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, I understand that I had an advantage. I mean, I had so much experience with girls. I encountered that. I I dealt with them like every day. I had to talk to them. I had to fix things. I had to, like, oh my god. Plus, all the nicest girls are in the dancing. So
Mm-hmm.
all the most beautiful girls usually end up in dancing. So honestly, I met a lot of nice girls, right? And yeah, that game changer actually changed my results, changed the way I look on the world, like changed the whole perspective.
Mm. Right, and where did that game
Yeah.
changer? You said, all right, I got it, I have an advantage, but what? That means you get that is self confidence, right, or self awareness. We could say that it's just purely that what you described. That was becoming aware of yourself, who you are, and how you look and what's your capability, and start to trust in yourself. So
Hmm.
what was the did something special happen that had you flip your mind, or you were just lying in bed and you were like, hey man, I
Yeah.
have an advantage?
No, the thing that changed was I actually changed my dancing partner at that
Mm,
moment, at that time. Uh, and I knew I had so much potential, like ready, prepared for everything that's going to happen in my life, right?
mm,
And at that moment, when that changed, when that actually happened, and I could use my full potential, uh, I think like really a monster came out, like a
mm.
beast. Okay, and I could move mountains at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, so is
Yeah,
that is the point when you start dancing with Nadia? Was that point, or
yeah,
yeah,
exactly,
all
yeah, exactly. Because I wished for something like that for so long, and I
right.
imagined it for so long how it would be and how
Mm,
it will be,
mm. Oh, we will look
and
into
then
that now, right? Because I know you mostly, like, I saw you dancing in junior, like, in the when we were juniors, more or less. When you were adult, I
mhm,
saw you dancing. When I went to competition, my brother was still competing, and of course we looked at the adult finals and stuff like that. But at that point I was there, right? So I think I was always one category ahead of you because of the age difference, something like that. But it was like, I was going off the dance floor in semifinals, let's say. You were in finals, passing me. I think, how was your partner called? It was
Anna,
Anna, yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
some
yeah,
Italian last name. That's what I remember.
yes, the
Uh,
Domizio,
De
yes.
Domizio, yeah. All right. So, right. And guys, everybody who's watching, you got to get this. This guy was so good that I think in juniors, I don't know if you really had a competition. At least in my head was like that. All right, there is Miha, and then maybe, somebody might step up, but more or less it was not. So, so you were already the best. You just said, right? I said it. So, and you still had something. You said, "I wished it for so long." What did you wish for so long, and that Nadia then fulfilled that?
What did I wish for so long? Somebody that had that special energy that Nadia for sure had. Something that just clicked immediately. Something that just touched and it just moved away. You really want to move. And I only thought of doing it, and she already did it. And that was like the best thing ever. I mean, I honestly always wanted a foreign partner, so I didn't want to. I don't know why I didn't want to dance with the Slovenian girl. I have no idea why. I just imagined it would be better doing it with somebody else, with somebody from abroad. And I felt that going from point where I was, if I changed my partner, I would go to point 100x, which is like really a lot. Okay, and like this would, I mean, I even feel like I actually, in my life, I was 1 month without a dancing partner. Okay, I only had like, honestly, 2 serious dance partners. So my first one, Anna, and the second one, Nadia. And this, what was shit? Now I got lost what I wanted to say. So that month that I was actually waiting for another girl, so for Nadia, I think like I honestly even improved myself like 10x before I got to 100x with Nadia. So it was really, 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 I cannot describe it. I cannot even explain it, because the first time I had a tryout with Nadia, I didn't sleep. I had the exam next morning. I failed like crazy. I couldn't think of anything else than that. I could not. And I feel like if you have this energy, this devotion, this passion for that, I mean, there's just no way that you cannot reach what you want.
Yeah.
I know. I hope you get what I'm trying to say, because I'm actually jumping quite a lot from one idea to another, but
no, I get what you're saying. Maybe just for everybody, just like, just like we said before, growing up, being in communication with girls every day, in physical contact with girls every day, and dealing with stuff, it's just like makes you more and more present to what will actually get you to another level. I never had that, to be honest. Maybe because of whatever, right? But with what Miha is saying, he had that. He was on top with Anna, but he knew that with her, because of the things that were going on, it probably was not, world champion was not something that you see would be possible with her. I assume that. So that's why you were looking for something else.
Yeah.
And then, when you change partners in dancing, you always have tryouts. So you see if you two click, you're just like how would you say? Like when you start going on a date with a girl. Those are basically tryouts, getting to know each other and see if you can click and do something, right? And then at one point, you both say, yeah, right, we can do something. So all right, and I got that, and I didn't, and it's a surprise for me, and it's really awesome for me, to get to know you better. I'm so I don't know, privileged. I feel really privileged, right?
Because thank you so much for invitation.
Yeah, because I really, you are, to be honest, one of the top performers or ever of Slovenian dancers, right? We all know Škufca and Venturini and Dan Krajcar, and then there is a bunch of you guys who can be right next to them or are next to them, right? In my opinion. And for you, like I said, right, when I look at all the dancers, if you would ask me who is the most self-confident and show that in most natural way, I would say you. And with easy, you can put Andre and Matej and everybody. They are good. They know what they're doing. But the most self-centered guy who is like, all right, this is me. You will get the beast, like you said before. But without this ego trip, it's like you. That's why I'm really privileged to talk. And that's why I want to discover what was there, how your path is going. So maybe we can get that for whatever we are doing in life,
Yeah.
To learn from the best.
I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was like I said already before. This was one of the most difficult things actually within dancing. I feel like even the technical part and the body activity part and stuff is actually not that difficult as actually this part, because this part is the one. And we came to this part, I mean, to actually be able to achieve that first through trusting each other with my partner, for sure. She took me a long way. She opened new worlds for me also, because she came from a completely different world. I came from a world where everything was like, you have to do this physically, you have to do this physically, you have to do this correct, you have to do this correct. You know, Slovenians, everything has to be correct, right? And she came from a world of faking like everything, you know, like acting everything, like really working on that, how to present yourself, how to sell that, how to, even though maybe some other parts were a bit neglected, they were not neglected, but let's say a bit neglected, right? This was like priority. And I think that these
how was that
two
for
worlds,
you? Yeah.
these two worlds actually clicked quite nicely, you know, because she took me on that planet, I actually took her on that planet. I think that two planets combined quite nicely. So this is why we search the world to find somebody who we can take that path together, right? And I got really lucky. I got really lucky. Yeah. Not that luck was my only thing, okay, but I got really lucky.
Yeah, I get the sense. And in the end, you know, I said, in my opinion, there are no coincidences. Just like, you know, you took an action, and consequences of that action was that you actually open a space that person come into your life. Maybe if you wouldn't improve in that matter as much as you would, she would never be in there, right? Because you two wouldn't click, right? So I think that is something we often forget. Like, we do all the work. It's not like I sit on a sofa and then Nadia pops into my room and I said, oh, that would be lucky, right? If you were sitting on a sofa and Nadia would pop out into your house, she said, I want to dance with you, that would be lucky. That's like, you know, I didn't do anything and that girl pops into my...
No, that for sure not. That for sure not. That for sure not.
But I get what you're saying, right? It's
you have to imagine it first, for sure. You have to know that you will achieve that. Second, you really have to act on it. You have to go full on, full in. Otherwise, there's no chance.
Tell us the number of, you know, a number of hours you put in as a teenager. Well, we are still there, right? We didn't yet go to the to above gymnasium. But anyway, in gymnasium, how many hours per day were you trained?
I started 4 o'clock, finished 9 for sure. Like 4, 5, 6 hours, depends. If I had to study more, I went home earlier. But you can imagine, if I came home like 9 o'clock in the evening, I started studying. I studied how much I managed till midnight, till 1 o'clock. 6 o'clock was waking up, going back to school, coming back home at 3 o'clock. The only thing that was on my mind was lunch and going back to practice. And everything that was done actually for dancing. So it was, even if I went to school, I was thinking of how I can use those information maybe more for dancing than my life, you know, like my professional life or job or whatever. So everything was planned to this point. So if I had to study English, I knew, shit, I will have to use this English somewhere, right? Or I studied Italian, I will have to use Italian somewhere. And it happened that I actually practiced in Italy quite a lot. So I mean, it's really is a funny thing, that head. I mean, the head is a funny thing. And the things that you imagine, oh, shit, they just somehow happen.
Yeah, right.
It's really scary sometimes.
Yeah, especially when you're up to something big, and that big then fulfills It is,
Yeah.
right? It's just like, all right,
Yeah.
I say it and then it happens. Whoa, bro, what? Right? So I get that. But and I wanna so that was from Monday till Friday, and on Saturday and on weekends you practice too, or only competitions? Weekend you were off.
Was comps or practice. I
Mm-hmm.
actually loved practicing on weekends. We practiced probably even more on weekends because the place was empty.
Mm-hmm.
Almost nobody was there. I mean, this was actually the time when we did most of our things, most of our job. Um, job. What was interesting with us was that we actually managed to do like 90% of our choreographies were done by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
90% of the work we did was, of course, uh, information was gathered from different places, but 90% of the work we did was by ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
right? And to be able to work together and to achieve something like that, you have to spend time. You have to spend time on understanding each other. You have to spend time in the whole just trying out things. Uh, you cannot just come, try, repeat, and go home because you have to do much more. You have to do much more. There's
I
no
mean,
no other
now
way.
I get it, right? Now I get it. What
Yeah,
push you above everybody? I would say in competition way above everybody else. Just like most
yeah,
of us, for everybody else, for most of the people, dancing exists. You go to practice, you have a coach there. Coach sets a choreography for you, and then you drill that choreography, and then you have to like own it, embed it, and in you. I don't know. I didn't even think about it. What you were just talking right now at the junior age, right? That I would do my own choreography. That I was just like, maybe that is also that by default being who I am is lazy. So other people do, then I just perform anything, right? It doesn't really, but I get that, and of course, right? And to put everybody else, right? Imagining, right? That's why you were world champion. If you put like school practice, most people would say that's a really boring life. But is it boring if you spend it with a girl every day for four,
I mean,
five,
to be
six
honest,
hours? Yeah,
I
right.
we
Yeah.
we we traveled the world. We traveled the whole world. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I saw so much stuff. I met so many people. I mean, is everything but boring.
Mm-hmm.
Everything but boring. And don't get me wrong, with the choreographies and stuff, we took everything that we got from the teacher. We took almost everything, and tried it out and said, okay, that's awesome. What if we do that plus that what we heard before and what we heard that, and then we check the computer where everything was written down, what we heard in every lesson, okay, and we combine stuff and we develop. And I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's the work you want to do. It's not
Mm-hmm.
something that is like, oh shit, now I have to check the computer and see what this guy told me, and is, oh my god, nothing
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, exactly, right. So it's I mean, you blow my mind there, right? Because I imagine you especially in junior. I don't say when you're an adult, right, category, but that you're already doing that in junior categories, right? It's
Of course.
it's something that I would assume that other couples didn't do when I was competing. I
Yeah.
I didn't saw. I mean, you would recognize that, and with you there was always
Yeah, I mean,
something special in a way. You were. That's why I get it now. That's why you looked self-centered into it, because you put a lot of thought into it, like you're saying now, and that is just that is next level thing. And then you, of course, with coaches, but you were the creator of what you are performing up there.
yeah. I mean, I have to thank
Mm,
my teachers as well.
mm,
You have to understand that I didn't come to that point alone,
yeah.
not at all, right? They were the ones pushing me to that direction. They were the ones explaining me to stay unique, to become unique. You have to be for sure different than everybody else. You cannot copy. If you copy, you're just a bad copy, right? And there has to be something more. and you have to search for it, and you have to be completely devoted to that. I remember one thing regarding practicing and stuff. My coach told me that if you have to go to your grandma's birthday in order, I mean, for you not to go to practice, okay, then you don't have to come next day also, and you don't have to come the third day as well, and you don't really have to come ever. So I mean, it's like a turning point as well. I mean, they were pushing us into something more for sure, because I don't think that like a 15, 16-year-old kid is ready to take decisions like that. You have to be, the door has to be open for you. You cannot just like push into the wall, because you don't really understand where the door is anyway, right? So if somebody opens the door, yeah, of course you have to walk through it, and you have to do the work, but at least you found the door and somebody opened it for you. So yeah.
I mean, awesome. Right. And that is actually also the intention of this show, right? To show people that, anything is possible. And if you are willing to put in the hours, you put in the hours, you put in the thoughts, like you said, even we're not willing to go to grandma's birthday, rather to go to practice, because you know what you're up to. And if I always say, when people love you, they will support you and they will understand. Grandma will understand. All right, he will come when it will be off season and probably spend with me more time, or if he comes once per year, only on birthday, right? Just like So yeah, and there's a question from Happy Kekets. That's my bro. So how much did it help you to train in the same club as some of the best dancers in Slovenia at the time, even in our age group? So when we were juniors.
Tremendously. I mean, I cannot emphasize how much it means to practice with Andrej Škufca, Matej Krajcer, Yuri Batagil, and people like that. I mean, I cannot emphasize that. You cannot emphasize that enough, because I mean, in my room, on my door, I had like posters and stuff. Who do you think was on the posters? It was like Andrej Škufca and people like that, and because that kept me going, that pushed me. I saw these people sweat every day. I saw those people take their shoes off, dancing shoes off, and like do like that, and like the sweat came out. And I was maybe 12, 13 years old. I saw everybody wet on the practice, and I thought, shit, I'm so dry. What the hell am I doing? I went to the toilet. I wet myself a little bit so that I looked like I was really, really active, because I felt like a part of that, and you saw their effort, you saw their devotion, you saw what they were putting in, and I mean, this is like a huge part. That's why so many of the best dancers move around the world in a search for a partner, in a search for the perfect team of teachers, in a search for the perfect community of the best dancers. And this is something that keeps you going. It's very, very difficult to practice alone. Very, very difficult to practice alone in a small club, even if you're really, really talented, even if your teacher is really, really devoted to you, and he's not measuring time he spends with you, it will be really, really difficult for you to succeed in that amount.
Yeah, I think now when you're saying that, so first of all, for everybody who is here and not familiar with the dancing world, so being in the same hall practicing at the age of 12, 13, like he said, with Andrej Škufca, it's like, imagine that you would be at the age of 12, 13 in the same hall practicing basketball with Michael Jordan. Just like that. Andrej Škufca was in the best in the world, with Katarina, of course, both of them together. That's the universe he was growing in, so to say, right? And now I can, and that is like what you just said now kind of describes, we were a small club, right, where we were competing to each other, but most of us were not the best in our categories, right? It was like a young club as well. It's not like the club, your club, was having longer tradition and stuff like that. And that really, in my dancing career, fall down on me after 9 years of dancing. If you imagine, I came to Ping in Maribor, so I have the dancer from there, Barbara. And when I came to first practice 1 month and a half before nationals in combined, right, in both, in 10 dances, you know what Branko said to me? All right, for the next 3 weeks, you are not lifting your hands because your posture is totally out. And for the next 3 weeks, I had to dance like this in practice. Like everybody, in general, where we are all together, team practice, everybody up, we were having hands down because I needed to work on my feet, on my body posture, how I stand. And then she said, all right, now you can lift your hands up. And my hands were, so my posture, dancing posture, was so messed up that my arm shoulder were too strong. When Branko said, put your shoulders down, I said, they are down. And he comes, he said, why are you having shoulders so strong? Where is? And then he checked my back, and my back was nowhere. So nobody told me, like, and you imagine that, right? After 9 years coming to that, you putting in the hours as well, a little less than you said we put it in, but if it's putting into the wrong direction, it's just like the damage was done. I couldn't lift my hands through 3 rounds. So if we start quarterfinals, I knew, all right, if I get to finals, I will be probably 6-7 in finals because my hands won't be up in the finals. And they weren't.
Yeah.
We came to finals and we were 6-7. But yeah, anyway, even though in 1 month and a half we improved so much that we were then 8 in semifinals, which then was strong competition at that point. So yeah, but right. So just to pair up those universe, what you were just saying, it is.
Yeah. That I mean, yeah, that is something that's pushing you forward for sure. To having like a club that has all the possibilities and all the capabilities of creating somebody big, somebody great. Yeah.
All right, then, you said that already at that age, right? There is also another thing with dancers is like you don't only train with one coach, right? You train with more coaches. So did you have like a particular guy, let's say in Italy one guy, in England one guy, or did you travel around the world? And
it all depends on the level you are at. It all depends on the age you are at. We were always taught in a way that you don't really need a lot of teachers in order to become successful, which is quite honestly very true till one point. And I think that till the age of maybe 20, I honestly had very few teachers. Only then is when we decided to maybe put a little bit more work into it, into deciding who is the one we work with, who are the people that are in the team, We started with England. We started to go to England quite a lot. We had like the teachers that our coach suggested for us. After that point, we started to mix up a little bit. We started going to Italy a lot.
Why is that? Why did you mix up? What was the?
Because honestly, the first thing is finance, right? You have to be able to finance your dancing world. You have to be able to finance your lessons with foreign teachers, and to travel to London and to stay in London for a long time was quite expensive for us, as we didn't have so much work. We had to teach, we had to practice, we had to study, we had to do so many things in one time, right? And Italy was honestly the teacher we chose was the one we liked, was much cheaper and easier for us to go there. And somehow we felt that this was our way, right? Our path. And then like the true competition started to happen. big comps started to happen, like big dreams started to evolve, and you become really stressed about whether this will work or not. So in one point, as the results didn't go our way, we decided to completely change the whole, like the whole scheme of teachers and everything. And we ended up with the team having around 20 teachers, everybody responsible for their own thing. There were choreographers, there were technicians, there were people that are responsible for our physical preparation. There were people for like psychologists for our mental preparation, and like this whole group of people was the one that actually pushed the last point, like this peak, and yeah. Honestly, I don't think that as from young age you need a lot of teachers. Just need like maybe 2 or 3 that are really, really devoted to you, maybe 4, but not a lot more. Not a lot more.
All right. All right. That is the second thing, right? So you were finishing gymnasium. So it says that my connection is unstable. All right. I don't know what's going on.
I talk too much.
No, all good, all good. But you do freeze from time to time, and I thought it's on your ends, but it's on mine. Just the camera, the voice is okay. Anyway, I'll see. If it keep continuous, I'll change some things around.
That's fine.
All right. So you're end of gymnasium, you're dancing, you're together with Nadia, national champions. And I want to ask you, like, and then we go to let's go like here, the big question, right? You are ending gymnasium, your focus is fully on dancing. But then is the question, what you go study? So how is, how did you choose your study next?
Was not an easy decision. And to be honest, if I would have to choose again, I would probably choose differently, right? I wanted to do something else than sports faculty and stuff like that, because I thought, okay, anyway, I will become a teacher, and anyway, I don't need this, and anyway, today I would most probably think differently. So I decided maybe I should do something that interests me and is maybe some like a completely different world from what I thought till that point. So I chose economics, right? Because I felt like, okay, this is something that you always need in your life. This is something that will for sure not have a bad influence on your life, and you might just as well learn something new, right? Now the difficult thing that happens is time is very limited, right? Time is like extremely limited. And I think the worst thing that can happen to you is like it happened to me. I went to the economic school in Ljubljana. I mean, school like faculty, university. And first 3 weeks of that program, I was missing because I was in London, And I think that these first 3 weeks are crucial. You have to, you have to be there because you learn how it goes, how it moves, where you get the information, where you have to do this, where you have to. When I came there, like the third week, I was a lost pigeon, like completely lost. I had no idea what I was doing. I knew I had some exams to do. I knew I had to go to this and that lecture. I knew but I was lost. I was honestly lost. Even though I was so lost, I did quite a lot of exams in the first year. But in the second year, I actually did 0. Okay, all of the comps that started, all of the things that happened, everything just pulled me so far away from that I was really it was really difficult for me to go there, and I even couldn't imagine myself actually ending that. I couldn't even imagine myself. So it cannot go differently than it went, So yeah. So
Yeah, all
first
right.
year was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Second
it.
year, never.
All right. So you are
Yeah.
basically gymnasium graduate by a
Yeah.
formal education.
I went to study. I continued to study because I decided, shit, okay, I cannot do this thing because I have to be there, when I'm in practice, I'm thinking of, I have to be there. When I'm there, I'm thinking of, oh shit, I have to go and practice. So I decided to do like an online courses and stuff and study like that. So I enrolled in an online program for economics as well. And I only have a few exams left, to be honest, in like the third grade. But yeah, hopefully that finishes soon. So I honestly even don't see myself using it for any reason, but I
Why?
feel like it would
Yeah.
make my parents feel good. So
Okay. All right. All right. We're in that world, right? Even
yeah,
a world
probably, yeah.
champion needs to study to make their parents feel good. I mean,
I don't know why. I have no idea why. But
I
yeah,
mean,
it's that
they
feeling,
they were they were raised that way. You cannot blame them. They were raised in a way of you need school if you want to have a good salary, good job.
for sure.
And I, in many cases that comes up.
For
The
sure.
kids,
Even though
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, you can be earning 20 grand per month,
most of the
and they
cases
would
is
they will
yeah,
still want you to finish the study. That's how it is. So so yeah, I got that, and I'm talking through experience of others. So for me, I finished, I have a diploma, but it for me, I'm not using it, to be honest. So, but yeah, it
yeah,
is what it
yeah.
is.
I mean,
But
I don't
it's a
think that
funny
I will
thing, right?
suggest.
Yeah. Why? I would ask you differently. Why would which if you could change that, you said I would do differently. I assume you would go to faculty of sports, or what will you pick if you would
Most
be?
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Most
And why
probably.
would you do that when faculty
Most
of
probably.
sports is also really
I
demanding
feel
on? Yeah.
I know it's demanding, but I'm a capable guy anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so I could do it most probably. Um, most probably. You just have to find something that pulls you for sure. And I feel like I could use that knowledge much more today.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm using economics knowledge as well, I'm using that knowledge as well. But I feel like I could use information from the University of Sports, a lot more. Faculty of Sports, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could use that a lot more with everything I do today.
Mm-hmm.
Like being involved with professional dancers, being involved in that professional sports development. I feel like I could give more and I could understand.
Yeah, got it. All right, noted.
Yeah,
And it makes sense in a way that you were doing the thing that you were passionate about, and there is most likely no other way that you put your full effort into that, and everything else, if it's not supporting that, it becomes a burden. So
yeah,
exactly. You have to call it. It is what it is, right? And
exactly.
all right, going on dancing, two aspects. First of all, like you were always creme de la creme in your category in Slovenia, right? Always on top, or maybe sometimes.
I tried.
Yeah, I mean, you try, but if we go check the results, your name would be among top 3 most of the time, or if not top, the first one. So how to go back in your head? Did you ever look down on competitors that you were competing with? To be honest, like, did you ever look, all right, I got this, I know I just got to show up, do my best, and I will win it? That's done deal in advance, because everybody else is just.
No, of course there are competitions where you just go in order to do the competition, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the time you already know that you will win, but you are called that not to win, but to present yourself in the best possible way, because you never know who's watching and you never know what the next step will be.
All
so
right, I'm talking about like back in the junior, not the adult. So
okay,
in junior.
No, I'm a very competitive guy for sure.
Mhm.
I'm a very competitive guy. I went to competition in order to be the best, right? Not necessarily I had in mind that I had to win every time, but because we were also not taught in that way.
Mhm.
We were always taught that the best is yet to come and that you have to do the maximum amount you're capable in that moment. And if the result happens, that's nice, but is not the main priority and not the main goal.
All right.
So the main goal and main priority was how to be better than you were last time, right? Like a lot better.
Mhm.
And no, I never looked down on my fellow competitors as as if I felt something more than them, right?
Mhm.
I to be honest, I more often felt like I was less than them and trying to catch them in a way. So I uh, I didn't have that feeling of owning the world and everybody should bow in front of me. Okay, so this was never my perspective and never my thought.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, right, that when you guys came from the top performers, it kind of a look like that. You own the shit, and
Probably
it's
has to, right?
and it probably and on the other hand, it's kind of a logically right. You need to stand out, and if you are not self confident on a dance floor, it's just like you might just go off. It won't work if you're looking
Yeah, I mean,
down, right? It's just like it's a
yeah, of
part
course,
of performance. And my
yeah.
question always were: Are these people really that cocky in private life, or are they just yeah?
I think that so much work is put behind. I
Mm,
think that so much work is put into it that it just comes out. I mean, some things are planned. Some things are planned. Some things you are prepared to do.
mm,
Okay, and some things you are taught to do. And sometimes you come to certain information through pain and through tears, which actually happened a lot of times. We had a teacher that made us cry like babies, like babies since I was 12. In one lesson, I cried 5 times, Scott. I cried 5 times because of I don't know what,
mm.
because of some trigger, some push that was really difficult for me to overcome. And I think that this kind of devotion, this kind of treatment, um, pushes you to do more,
Mm.
pushes you to overcome all of this shyness and all of those troubles you have.
Yeah, and on the other hand, you know, it pushes you more, but you're crying, right? I don't imagine these days that there will be a teacher who would make their kids cry and parents would be okay with it. But so
They would not be. Yeah,
yeah.
they would have somebody sent there and deal with the stuff. And, my parents were saying always, if you have a teacher you trust, you follow them completely. If they say like that, it's like that. I have I cannot add anything. They are the ones that lead you. They are the ones that will push you through. They are the ones that will explain you things that we cannot explain to you. And I think that this power given to the teacher is really, really important. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you have a teacher that is wacko and he has personal issues and he has to deal with that separately, you cannot choose that kind of teacher, right? You have to choose
Mm.
somebody who is trustworthy. You have to choose somebody that is showing you the way also with the way he is living, his life. And yeah, I think that I had that. I had a teacher. I had like a teacher, like had a life teacher, and I had a dance teacher.
All right.
And all of that crying, when the teacher told me, okay, now when I was 12 years old, okay, now you have to look at this girl like you love her so much, okay, and now you really have to touch her and show her that, and I was literally dying inside. I was literally dying inside. Okay. But I went past it. I was very difficult for me at that age, right? And but I did it. It was not easy. And when I think of it right now, I feel like, okay, you could do that easily, but at that moment it was not that easy. And I think that these kind of experiences, even though you are a little bit pushed into them, right, they give you something more.
Yeah, I mean, we I had it for a guest here was Jagoda as well in
Mm-hmm.
the last winter. So I don't know exactly the month, but yeah. So she also shared a perspective. So question there is, with all those things and you improved, right? And right now you see it easily. For me, it's just kind of, I know it sums it up. So I came in this with a big wonder. I don't know what everybody else saw. Right, the world champion is here. Like what will we get? Right, but I'm a little bit more into you because I tried to get the world tour. How you were built, like what was influencing you, and what also we all can take from you and apply to our lives, and to to be, let's say, on that kind of level in areas that we're interested in. So that is really, really, like, that's why I'm being in there and wanted to know what is going on. All right, thanks. So
Sometimes there's no real secret, right?
I
And
mean,
sometimes
yeah,
sometimes there is.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. But with you, I'm also wondering, like financial part of dancing is heavy. So was
Mm.
that a big part on your parents, or did you work as well, like to earn the money
Of
for
course, a
to pay
huge
the
part.
class? Yeah.
Of course, a huge part was on my
Or maybe
parents'
maybe
part.
before you start answering, just was that because when you were a dancer, you looked at others, and then you were all like, his parents is rich, that's why he's looking that, having all the best shoes, all the best equipment, all the best teachers, stuff like that. And in the end, we all know, right? Hard work beats talent if talent doesn't do the hard work. So you still had to put the hard work in. But yeah, just from your perspective, how it went financially, or
Uh,
until a certain
I
point.
actually I felt huge responsibility on that part because I knew that. I mean, my parents never took anything away from me. They always contributed everything they could to what the teachers were saying. So if they suggested, like, we have to go there and we have to do this thing and we have to take these lessons and we have to go to this competition, and they said, I never heard them say no, that we cannot do. Okay, I never heard them say that. And we are not like the richest family for sure. Okay, we are like middle class. I never had a feeling like I had something missing in my life. Never ever. Okay, they always gave me everything for sure. Um, and yeah, they gave everything that was expected and everything they could. Right now, I was quite lucky that since the age of 18, I honestly, like, maybe 80% of everything financed myself.
Mhm.
Meaning that
What did you do?
we did all kinds of shows, we did television shows, we did that shows, we got that invitation to that competition, we had lessons there, we had lessons. I mean, we tried everything. Okay, we tried everything. We found ways that, I mean, we didn't sleep, we traveled, we practiced, we performed, we did everything at once. Like, we were involved 24/7, like, since the age of 18. And all the opportunities we got, we used them. And sometimes we did stuff for free,
Mm.
in order to get something different, in order to get something more. And yeah, when first you feel huge responsibility when parents pay for you, right? When they give you everything, you feel like, shit, I have to do my best in order to, not to repay them, but to let them know that I
Appreciate.
respect their part in that, right?
Yeah, I wanna
And
just stop you there for a bit because
yeah,
that I think is the really important thing that most of us human beings don't do. We take that as granted, as something that it should be there, not as something is like no that you know they could say easily no. We are going on
yeah,
holidays. You know how much your season costs. We could go spend cruising for 2 months, all inclusive
no,
for your one
never,
season, right? And
yeah,
and but I want to say on the other thing, just also know to myself and everybody else, it's just like that is why one of the whys you became a world champion because you didn't took that for granted,
yeah, most probably,
and you were
most probably, yeah,
you were appreciating and respecting that in your hard work and performing at your best as it was at a certain point, so in a certain time, but never give less than your best. And that is like unique
yeah,
quality. That is a, you could say, world champion quality in anybody who ever was a world champion has similar paths in a way, right?
yeah. No, because I knew that they were giving up a lot for me. Okay,
Mm.
they were giving up a lot for me, and like I said, I am so happy that I managed to take all of that financing on me since I was like 18, and yeah, in like top seasons, okay, top seasons meaning top preparation parts and everything, we spent around 50,000 per year, which was not
Mm.
that little
Mm.
if you imagine that you have to earn that, right? So yeah,
Yeah,
of
that was
course
my question. Did you ever calculate it how much per year? Yeah.
we that's why we put everything we had into it. I mean, that's why we gave everything we are and everything we were into what we did.
Yeah. All right. And was there any major setbacks in your dancing career, like some competitions that really put you down into man, I will never recover from that or something like that?
Major setbacks were relationship issues. This is the only thing. This
Mm.
is the only thing. If if I had been more grown up in a way, if I understood the world better, if I understood myself better, if I could manage my behavior from time to time, which was very stressful, by the way, better, I think that we could have gone even further.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Now I was taking all the guilt or everything on myself right now. But I think that if we could manage that together a lot better, uh, we could do even more.
Mm.
And
But
this was
that
the
that
major setback because,
yeah, I just
yeah,
want to
this was the
expose
major
another
setback because there
quality
were,
of you that when you take, I would say not guilt but responsibility, right? That is when you have power to do something about it. Because if you don't take responsibility, if you only say it's her fault, that would never
yeah,
work out. So I just,
no, it's
a quality there.
most of the time it's 50-50, right?
Mm.
Most of the time it's 50-50. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's her. So yeah, you just, I mean, in the end, you just have to make it work, right? You
Mm.
have to make it work. And I understand things better now than I did back then. But yeah,
Yeah.
we are learning constantly. So we are improving constantly. We try to manage things better than we did before. So, but this was the major setback because these relationship things, relationship stuff, uh, like 2 years were perfect, then 1 year was worse, then 3 years were awesome, then 2 years were worse. It's like you have to manage that part as well,
Mm-hmm.
and you need the right people around you in order to help. You need a very grown up mind in order to overpass it, and it's not easy. It's not easy, but you learn a lot. You learn
Mm.
a lot for your life. You learn a lot for for all the parts of the life that you are actually going through, right? For all the levels. And I'm actually quite, honestly, I'm quite thankful for that. I don't, right now, I don't see it as a setback, right?
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, I could have done a lot more. I mean, we could have done a lot more.
Yeah. So would you say, are you having regrets about it, or is just like you did your best and you know you
Sometimes I
could?
do. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I
Mm.
do because, like I said, I feel like I always feel like I could have done more.
Mm.
And I don't think that this feeling will ever go away from me unless I find something that will drive me even more. And I think I'm finding this out right now with all the teaching and with all the coaching and with all the uh, gradually leading youngsters towards something that they are willing to take on. So yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah, and the question pops in my mind. So how hard was to deal with you when you were in those competitive mindset and grinding for the finances to pay the lessons and then put them into your body so that you perform at the next competition, because coming out first, or coming out world champion, or coming out European champion, or coming out Slovenian champion. Like, anyway, Slovenian championships were like world championships in some aspects. So you already knew if you won Slovenian, you have really good chances to be the best at the worlds and European. But how hard was to deal with you? So how hard competitor, grinder, you were there? Like you know what I mean?
Uh, yeah, I feel like in my private life, I'm not that difficult to handle. Okay,
Mm.
I'm not that difficult to talk to. I think that I can adopt very easily. Uh, I can talk and I can manage myself, right? Of course, when you have this stressful part of competition where a lot of things are expected from you, especially winning. Like, okay, you won the first time, right? The first time was fun. So trying to win the second time, the world championship, shit, that's not easy. That's not easy because you know that if you lose the second time, you know you will have to fight the third and the fourth time again. And
Mm.
this is like really stressful, really stressful. And yeah, it in that moment you have to be really good friends with your partner. You have to support each other. You have to understand each other, and you have to fight through all the things, which we had with Nadia. We had that not all the time, but we had that most of the time. And I'm so thankful for those times when we actually had that.
Mm.
Um, yeah, but it's not easy. I, I, I sometimes I cannot. If I have an idea, I cannot get away from that. I cannot get away from that. I will push it through, and I will be stubborn as yeah.
Mm.
So this is probably my like my worst, not worst, but one of the things that is difficult to handle if you spend time with me.
Yeah, because I imagine that on that level, it's kind of already on my level was like, I remember, like, I was in a sports gymnasium, right? So at that time they said you need to have certain results to keep being in sports gymnasium. So I had to put in all the diplomas at the end of the year, and they evaluate that if that is okay or not, right? And my dance partner at that time was not that competitive oriented. So in that manage for her, I was impossible to deal with, right? She called me jerk, she called me I'm an idiot, stuff like that, because I was there one more time, one more time, one more time. We don't go home until they throw us out, one more time. And she was all, everything, right? So in that manage, my question was like, how, and you answered it, right? You have an idea, and I can imagine one more time, and that is like, we're not talking about 10 more times, we're talking about 1,000, 2,000 repetitions. So
No, I mean, the worst thing was that we both had like, we were so set on how we wanted things, and uh, she wanted that for sure. Like she was like really, really into it, like that. And I was like, yeah, really like that, like the opposite completely, complete opposite. And it was not actually a matter of how many times we will repeat. The main question was who will push less in order to achieve something, or who will push more in order to achieve something, right? And this battle, of personalities, who will be the one, you know, if we will do 2 turns here, she won. Oh shit! And if we will do 3 turns here, I won. So if I won this time, so she has to win the next time. It's like, yeah, this battle of, I would
Awesome,
say, like
man.
really
That
strong
is, yeah.
personalities.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and then there you have it, right? You weren't even focused on a competition out there. You were competing with each other, and that's what pushes you, right?
Most
But
probably, yeah, most probably.
yeah, and it's amazing, and it's also necessary, right? You just like I often, when it comes to athletes, I would say studied Michael Jordan's career in a bit more detail, and it's kind of it's all there for these world champions. It's all there. They find the competition. If there is no competition, they invent the competition. So for dancing, it's like in dancing in partners, it's a little bit more easier because you can always have competitiveness about with your partner, right? So
Yeah,
and yeah, it's amazing how much the mindset that you're describing, right, is influencing then the what happens on the court, what happens on the dance floor when you are performing, right? Because
yeah.
you did 2 turns, now we're doing her 3 turns. You're just there. We own this shit. We are battling each other. We are. I don't even. I'm joking here around, but it's just like we are. Working with each other. So all right, there are some couples. I don't see them. I'm competing with her. We're doing her thing now. So now my thing is coming. Watch me now.
Yeah, it is like that. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it's kind of at the point when from where I look now, it's like it's necessary because if you'll be only competing with others, it's like you kind of lose yourself into comparing with others. Just like you know,
Most probably, yeah, most probably. I mean,
I think
you
we
need
did it.
everybody else
We
as
we
well.
smaller clubs, the competitors for smaller clubs, we definitely lose in comparing to you guys. Lost our self expression. Like you said before, we were not taught to be unique in that rigorous manner. But we were looking, all right, what Miha is doing, what, sorry, I got drinks.
It's
Mm,
fine.
what the best are doing and try to be like them. So it was never
Yeah.
about, who I need to be the best, but, who,
Who I need to become the best,
yeah,
right?
right, what you're saying, who I need to become to be the best. But
Exactly.
it's like, all right, what
Yeah.
Miha is doing, what Milian is doing, what the Krals are doing, what Matej is doing, what Andre is doing, like
Yeah.
always. And now I get that. It's like that is just mentally we were not on a state to push even close to you guys, to be honest, right? And
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
you have to have the right conditions for sure. You have to
uh,
have the right conditions. You have to, somebody has to explain it to you. I mean, somebody has to open that door for you,
mm,
which I was saying before. And when you mention, this fighting between each other and like competing with each other, the funniest thing in the end is that we actually, in the end, we were competing together, completely together against everybody else.
mm,
This is the funniest thing. Okay, so this battle is taking you up, right? And then you just step together and push together, which is like really the best thing. Okay, this is the best thing. When this
yeah,
happens, is full on.
yeah, I can imagine. I cannot say I experienced it, at least not in a dancing way, but yeah, it is like
Yeah,
I can imagine if you put so many hours, so many everything, your thoughts, hours, devoted everything to that, and then you're and there is so much. We would need a 10-hour show, right, to maybe cover everything, right? So I'm just trying to give the pointers out, to ask questions that would give to everybody, to me and everybody who is listening, like what we can take, because more or less everything starts here and then you push it into your body or into your performance, right? So get behind, right, why Miha looks like he owns the shit wherever he appears, right? So what's the mentality behind it? So really thank you for answering all these questions. And you know, do you, maybe you don't even remember, but how was you at that time when I was 18 and watching you and Million competing at each other? How was that approaching for you? How did you approach that, right? Because at that point you two were the best, and we know in finals those two are gonna fight. And I'm just interested because I looked it from the outside. So I'm, if you remember, if you can give us an
Of
insight.
course, I remember.
Yeah.
Of course, I remember. You know, I actually paid zero attention to everybody around me.
All right.
I paid zero attention to the ones I was competing with. I really, to be honest, to this day, I don't understand how or why. Okay, uh, they were all so busy with everybody, with us, with that happening, with those results happening, with those judges judging, with that people looking. You know, if I try to remember what I was occupied with, okay, I was occupied with doing my foot, which was going like that, okay, or doing the two turns and actually stopping completely in one place. This was like the only worry, you know, till I was maybe 23, 24, 25. I, to be honest, I didn't even understand that there is like a judging system, and that there are judges that actually prefer uh, like few dancers in the world that actually give some preference to some sort or some style of dancing or something like that. You know, because I never devoted any time to that.
All right.
I only devoted time to becoming better, to becoming going further, bigger, faster than before. And if I saw something that I didn't like in my own videos, you know, that was the thing that pissed me much more than the result, because the results were okay. I mean, if I finished first or second or maybe even third, oh my god, so what, right? But if I saw a video of myself that I really didn't like, that didn't push me forward, shit, that was the thing that kept me. That was the thing that pushed me. You know, that's why I was really never worried about everybody around me. I was never really competing with them, even though I was. And if the
Okay.
situation happened and I got to like a place on the dance floor together with, like you said, with Million, okay, yeah, I competed with him. I competed with him with everything I had, but I was never worried about it. I knew I was going to win. I knew I was going to be not with the result necessarily, but I had that. I imagined it. I will.
And bro, that blew my mind, you know, because
Yeah.
I remember while I was competing, and I don't know why. Maybe that's, you know, something us coming behind you. We then look what are the things, and then we go, you know, how people mostly deal with stuff is finding reasons outside of yourself, right? And I remember we at that point there were debates, right? Yeah, of course you didn't qualify forward because that teacher is teaching this, and that couples, so they prefer them over you because you never trained them. Basically, you never give them any money, so that's why you didn't get cross to go into the next round. So you know, if you want to get cross to go into the next round, you got to go train to them, and stuff like that, right? But that was already when I was close to finishing in my last 2 3 years. So I blew my mind. You never thought about it. That
No,
you know that
no.
that you were like, you know,
None of those
and
things were.
I would say if you would ask from the outside, I would say now that I remember one competition. I think it happened in Maribor, right? It was you and Nadia against Miljan and Martina. It was basically, we all know it's battle between you two at that point. Like, think everybody else were like, all right, from third to sixth. That's it. And I remember, it was so funny. We were sitting and watching you two. So one was going out on one part of the dance floor, other one on the other part. But now that I imagine walking off, it was just like I told you before when we met, right? You were being so self-centered into it when you were watching off, and for me and Martina, it was more like they're watching you with a little piece of their eye. They're like, and with you were just like, nobody exists. This is us. This is our competition. So when we were debating on the stands, like who will win, I was, some people were like, I was always on your side. I think I couldn't explain it at that time even why I was on your side. It was just, it felt natural. It felt like, nope, they got it. I don't know what Milan would need to do to beat him, but it's just like, and he's also a really good dancer. I trained with him also and stuff like that. We did some shows together for some gymnasium when I was in Maribor. So with all respect to that guy, nobody is better or wrong, but it's just like, when you look at this, it's just comparing two champions, basically. It's not comparing one who is champion and the other one is faking champion. They both win a lot of competitions at that time. So, but yeah, I just remember that with you, and you're here, and it just impresses me even more and explains now, what was there for you. You basically, you were your only competition all the time. You were just competing with yourself from yesterday. And yeah, all right. You mentioned before that only one result beat you down in life. So can you say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I was maybe 14, 15 in the juniors. I was really expecting to win the national championship because I thought that, I don't know what, if I didn't win that, the world would crash and the clocks would stop ticking and stuff. And yeah, I finished second, right? I finished second. And was devastating for a young boy at 14, 15.
Who won it? Do you remember who won it? Just for me.
Nalbute.
Oh yeah, did you guys had the competition inside of the club?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I remember that the red hair guy.
Yeah, exactly. So I lost that. Next day was bad, right? But the next day was awesome because the practice was just amazing. And yeah, I ended up beating this guy in the world championship like 3 rounds, which was pretty awesome. I ended up being 15, 16, something like that, and he ended up being 45th or something like that, which was awesome at that time. So yeah, I got my revenge, but the thing that took me there was the fact that I actually lost it. If I had won that, I feel like I never would have pushed that much.
Damn, bro.
But yeah, that was the thing that I remember. Like really, the next day, like this devastated 14, 15-year-old boy, it's funny now. It was quite painful back then.
Damn, bro. You just like, that's so well put what you said. If that wouldn't happen, I don't know if I would push so much in my career and maybe never being, whoever you are now. And that is why it's important to lose in life, to fail in life, right? So I get a lot of questions from teenagers, right? How to succeed in life. And I tell them, if you're not willing to fail, you will never succeed.
Of course.
Because, of course. It's just like that. And you said that, just remind me, I will go back to him, but, I really respect him as an athlete. It's just like Michael Jordan was not picked into a team of basketball in high school first year. He was only picked in second year. So, and that pisses him off. So he worked really hard to be in the team next year. And probably if that didn't happen, maybe he will never become a
Yes.
And
yes. And failure is not a failure. Failure is an adventure, and this adventure.
Can you say that again? No, just for everybody to
is not a failure. Right? Yeah, because this is actually an adventure that is given to you. This is like exciting. It's not the thing to beat you down. is the thing to pick you up, right? So
even though it doesn't look like that at the first
not
sight,
that I
right?
love failure.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say that I love failure, right? But I love it now, right?
All right.
For when it happened back then.
I mean, so many questions, but to not keep you there because you're a busy guy and you have a family and stuff and all that. Just like when you and Nadia were world champions, right? And everything. So what happens like that then it didn't go on and on? Because you're still we could say you could still compete at the professional level, on top level, right? Because you are 33, 34. I mean, you could still be doing that. So maybe if you give
my body my body right now is ready to compete, honestly. My body right now is ready to compete. It can compete, but I would need like 2 months preparation for sure. What happened was, to be honest, I really don't know. What happened was this setback that we were talking about before, which was relationship setbacks, right? And we somehow drifted apart after winning the first world championship. Drifted apart in a way that I feel like everybody got their own plan in their head, and we didn't stand together anymore. We didn't fight it together anymore. We just drifted apart slowly, but very gradually. So and plans in life change. There was not enough communication, most probably, or the communication was bad, which is also a huge blame on my side, most probably, and I should skip most probably. So I regret it a lot. Because, like you said before, we could have done a lot more.
Yeah, I got that. I got that.
So Nadia got pregnant. After that, she got pregnant. She got a baby girl, and of course, his life changes completely.
Yeah. I mean, right. So, and all respect to all you guys did, right? It's nothing to put the shade on, but it's just like, how did you deal with them then? How did you find, another goals? Because like you said, since the age of 7, when you start dancing, you were fully in. You're putting in hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. All right, you were doing lessons, you were doing shows. Nadia are still doing shows from time to time together, as I remember from the media. I don't know when was the last time, so don't take my word it like you did it last week. I don't know that, right? But from time
like
to time.
A month ago. A month ago.
All right, maybe a question there before you answer what were then, how did you deal with what to do next, is how come you're still doing shows together? Like, in most of the things, when a relationship ends like something like that, people also drift apart. They don't want to deal with each other anymore. It's just like a divorce. I don't want to talk to you anymore. We don't have kids together, so why would we be involved in any kind of way? So it's a little bit different in a professional way, but not that different, because mostly relationships in dancing couples are more or less couples are involved romantically as well, or it is very high on that level. When you perform rumba, it's like you got to put romance out. It's and it's got to look real. So what was then the thing that you keep on being in relationship and performing together? And I would say performing really good.
I'm a very funny guy. Most of my ex-girlfriends are probably also my best friends. So I'm not a guy that keeps a grudge on somebody from the past. I try to fix things. I try to manage things. I try to make them work. Of course, not on the same level. Don't get me wrong, but on a different level, right? the thing with Nadia is that we just click with dancing so much that, we meet, we haven't seen each other for a year. I touch, I spin, I drop, I do stuff, and she just does things, because we just know how it goes. I mean, if I need a choreography for a show, I say, okay, we take this part, this part, this part, this part, this part. She says, okay, and we do this, and the show is done. Because we just know each other so well, and we just have this feeling, this sense, this energy that we don't have to talk. We don't even have to talk. I touch, I spin, I do that. It's all done. I cannot explain it. This is magical. Okay? This is really magical.
I mean, that is next level of relationship. It's just like when you click, like you said before, you think and she does, or vice versa. I would assume. Because some people might get offended. Alright, it's all the guy's fault, so the girl is only following. But on a dance floor, it is like that. But it needs to be an agreement.
No, and in the top level dancing, there is 50% of leading, 50% of following constantly happening. Meaning, if I lead something, I follow her reaction immediately. Immediately, I don't lead. I lead and follow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I lead and follow constantly. Because even if I lead something, she will maybe react a little bit differently than the last time, right? And I might get offended or angry about that. I cannot. I have to follow what she does differently. So this is how you keep the dance alive. Yeah.
All right. I mean, something new. I didn't really know that, right? Because basic dancing is like male is leading,
for sure,
girl is dancing.
For sure.
But
for sure.
On top level,
I mean,
does make sense.
Yes, for sure. I have the steering wheel in my hand. Okay, the steering wheel is in my hands. Okay, but I still follow the road in some way. I still follow my passenger who is inclining together with me in the car, who is reacting completely the same with me in the car. I mean, I still follow things. I don't just do stuff, So I don't think that this was like the perfect example, but
yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
No, but I got it. It's just like, we don't need to do an example. You just said it. It's there on the dance floor. If you imagine you have a dance partner, you do something, she follows. And like you said, if she do something different, you need to adapt and follow that. Because if you go strictly with what you trained, like, we have to do it that way. If you don't do it that way, that will cause an earthquake, and, the result will go in shambles and stuff like that, right? Just like you said, it's a living thing, so you follow. And that may be a notice to everybody who is doing that, maybe watching on professional level or want to be a professional too. And even in life, right? When you are together with a woman as a guy, if you will lead all the time, it doesn't work. So you need to lead and follow, right? Or maybe more following.
Yeah.
Lead.
And the best things, yes, of course, for sure. The best things actually come from mistakes. The best things happen from mistakes. And you search and encourage mistakes in order to find something new and something different. So,
or that is a mindset that most people don't get. Can you say a little bit more about that? Did you say I encourage mistakes to happen so I can invent something new? Yeah.
Of course, because we are artistic people. We deal with artistic world, right? And if you copy what everybody else does, or if you do what everybody else tells you to do, how can you beat them? So if you get mistakes, if mistakes happen, what can you do out of that? I mean, like 70% of the time, the choreography which is set for you in competition will not work. So 70% of the time, mistakes will happen. This is a lot. Like 70% is really a lot. So how will you get out of that? The way something from that in that moment. You catch her differently than you did before.
Hey, sorry,
And yeah,
there was some breakout. Can you say the last thing I heard clearly and then you start breaking up was 70% of
oh,
the time mistakes happen. So what do you do out of that?
yeah.
Yeah.
So 70% of the times mistakes will happen. The question is, how will you manage to get out of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people will fall into stress. Most people will stop. Most people will feel endangered or angry or whatever. I will try to find a solution in that moment immediately, and I will invent something that is even better than something that was planned before.
Mm-hmm.
And if I check my videos from before, from YouTube, from my history and stuff, the best videos are the one where we made so many mistakes and we just fixed them like in that moment. I mean, this is awesome. Because it cannot be planned completely. It can. I mean, yes, we practice so much that is most of the time is planned, but things will happen, and you have to be prepared that it will happen, and this is a fact.
Mm. I mean, because it's like life. Life happens.
Yeah, of
But you
course.
can have your life
It's
planned.
how you deal with it, right?
Yeah,
It's how you deal with it.
70% of your life will not go as you planned. So
Exactly.
and then if you put in what you just said, right? It's something. It's really. I'm really, like I said before. I will say it again. Just it's a privilege to sit with somebody like you down and talk to you, but not because you're something more than anybody else, but it's just from the experience you have. And mostly human life is all about performance. So you could say, all right, dancer, they're artistic, so but what you were just saying, I got for myself. All right, I'm doing streaming, right, in front of the camera, but that is a performance. I
Of
just
course.
discovered that newly for myself. It's just like, all right, if I take it as what you just said, as in being an artist, so I can think about what I can prepare choreography, so to speak, in a way, but more or less, all right, I do mistakes. All right, let's see how I can evolve out of that, right? And like you said, and that is not an easy approach. Maybe it sounds easy when you said it, right? The best video comes out, so everybody might go, all right, it's easy for Miha. He makes mistakes and he just do that, and it's easy for him. It's not. No, I mean, you will say for myself, but I know for myself, I know that as well, but it's really not easy because the mind is all the time saying, I told you you're not capable, you're bad, you cannot do it, who do you think you are, blah blah blah, all those things to put you down, right? So the most hard battles are won in our heads. So maybe when you said it like that, it came out lightly, but how did you dealt with it, like, mentally? Just like, how do you accept that you do 70%
It's a
of the time?
challenge.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge. It's not a setback. It's a challenge. It's an adventure, like I said before.
All right.
And this is actually one of the most interesting parts in dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Is the fact that it's alive. Is the fact that it changes. Is the fact that you have two different human beings doing things together which are planned but never go by plan. And yeah, I mean, you see it very very fast with a lot of couples. Like, they're really cool couples, like really really cool couples, and they come to competition and they cannot handle it.
Mm-hmm.
They just cannot handle it, and they have no chance against everybody else, but they are so awesome. I mean, you have private lessons with them, they are so freaking awesome. Okay, you feel like, wow, that is really amazing. And you see them in competition and they cannot handle it because they want everything to go as planned. They want everything to go perfectly, and it never does.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be so, how to say, like that. Okay, so never like that, like really like that. And if you have to use a hip hop move in your rumba, so just use a hip hop move in your rumba, and everybody will start to copy your hip hop hip hop move in rumba.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Did you fix the problem in that point, in that moment? Yeah, you did, and you did it awesomely. I mean, like, you know.
Yeah,
So what?
I get it. And that is amazing, and you just gave me something in what you were just saying. In order, all right, I'm working on many projects. Like, all right, one is stream, one is these workshops, one is whatever, right? All the projects, and I could see myself that when I really was, but not that I'm not now flourishing, but it's like when I was really producing result after result after result, was in time when I was doing what you just said before. It's not a problem, it's a challenge, it's an adventure, it's not a failure. It's all right, it's failure in performance. What can I do about failure in performance? It's a challenge. So because one of the worst thing that I want to do is doing stories and posts, which is kind of unnecessary in the business I'm in. I don't want to own that. I don't want to do it. I want to have somebody else to do it instead of me. But I cannot pay them. So all right, it's on me. So just give it me there. Right? All right, it's a challenge. Let's fucking do it. It's not a
Why
problem.
not?
Right? Yeah,
I
right.
mean,
Why
why
not?
not?
Yeah, what's the worst thing that can happen, right?
You could feel good.
Exactly, exactly. All right,
Yeah.
and what is happening for you now after your professional dancing career is over, when you are not competing anymore? What does the
Hmm.
world champion in dancing do afterwards? Like, how do you find the next thing that drives you as much as was the competition in that?
I don't know why, but the satisfaction I get when I get into a lesson with somebody that is as eager as I was, okay, is really, I mean, this is something that drives me right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I have no idea why. Maybe because I had the possibility to experience that, but really to get people that are driven by questioning what else can they do, how can they become better, what is the next step, and I am the one showing them the door and opening the door for them, sometimes even pushing them through the door a little bit, unfortunately or fortunately, uh, is something that keeps me going.
Mm.
If you are willing to do things in your life, I mean, if you have a job that you are willing to do even for free, and you would do it if you wouldn't get paid, uh, and you enjoy it, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
And this is where I am right now.
All right. So right
I mean,
now,
I
yeah,
have to get paid. Don't get me wrong. I have to get paid. I
I
have
got
to
that.
live.
Yeah.
I have to leave my family. I have to support my family, and but the fact that I am somehow liberated from this urge, yeah, is awesome.
Yeah, liberated from rat race, so to
Yeah.
speak. I mean,
Yeah.
it is call it. It is what it is, right? It's not. It's. I
Yeah.
didn't invent that word. It's out there.
Yeah.
Psychologists use it. So, but
Yeah.
all right, awesome. So basically, right now you're a dancing teacher. That is your main job, or
Yeah,
is it?
I'm responsible for around 30 to 40 couples within Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I manage them. I I do plans for them. I plan their competitions. I plan their practices. I help to decide who works within the team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Man, it's really involving. It's a nice thing to do.
I mean, yeah, those are 30 to 40 projects to run.
Yeah,
But
honestly, yeah.
every couple is
So,
their own project, and inside of that, you have at least two projects, which are what she will do and what he will do. so,
exactly.
so that is like 80 projects, right? Uh, and how do you manage that in these times when you cannot be there with them physically? And in dancing, that touch is even
it's,
more
it's,
important
it's
than maybe in most of the things that we do.
yeah. It's not so difficult for me. I think it's more difficult for them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think for the kids this is really, really difficult. Mm, and I think they need this a lot. I feel like they need this a lot, and they are not getting it, which is frustrating, right? So, but we try, we manage, we do all kinds of things. We do these online courses, online that, online there. I travel abroad, even though it's really difficult to actually manage with all the documentation and everything. We do all of these tests. We try to do everything in order to keep the process going, and in order to not necessarily earn money, but support.
Mm.
You know, and yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah, and there are no
Like I said,
competitions, so the drive
you
needs to
know,
be really strong because there is
true,
nothing. There
true,
is
true.
all in all,
Yeah,
you do
I mean,
train and you want to perform, and competitions
of
are
course,
one level
you
of
you want to
performance.
show what you can do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I cannot imagine myself being in that position. It's really difficult,
Mm.
and I try to support them. I try to encourage them. I try to, you know, give them the motivation for the future. I try to make them see like the bigger picture and everything, but it's not easy for them.
Mm. Right, and hats
Yeah,
off, man, that you're doing that to for them, right? To involve them in the bigger picture because a lot of kids don't have this bigger picture, and they don't have people who will draw this bigger picture
yeah.
with them for them. So that is,
I mean, I try. Yeah, I try to give what what has been given to me.
mm,
Okay, I try to give that,
and
and I try
probably
to give
improve that. To be honest, each generation
that
can
experience.
can can, can improve what you were given. So yeah, amazing.
Most probably, yeah. Most probably, yeah. I mean, for sure, they have. Maybe sometimes it's even too easy for them right now.
Mm.
Sometimes, because I feel like we had to go through more things at their age, but times change, and we have to change with times, and we still have to develop them. We still have to give them an idea, right?
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that is. I mean, you couldn't put it better right now. What you just said with the last couple of words is just like responsibility of an older generation. What to give to other younger generation is the responsibility and ideas. You know, just to teach them that how they can deal with life
yeah,
responsible. So what you said before, focus on me. So what I did, what I can do differently, that I will produce different results. So in whichever area, and what is the idea I'm living into, right? What do I want to fulfill in life? So hats off that you're doing that. That is lacking in the world right now, and the it's really, and it's a privilege for those kids, right? It's not like every day they can work out with the world champion and be their trainer and motivator and stuff like that. So I would be in their shoes insta if I would be starting doing the trading career, So how to get that guy on my team? And you said it perfectly when you said we had 20 to 30 people in our team, right? At the one point we said with neither you had, right? And I think most people don't realize that is the necessary amount for, I would say, any world champion to be on the top level. Even we could
yeah,
say Tina Maze, who had 5 6 people, but there was more people even behind that, but those were the main ones. But it's a team. Any successful guy needs a team. I mean, person needs a team behind for them to be successful. So yeah.
right.
All right, thank you on the career, and then we get the passion and the drive and everything. Just I also said, so what is then the hard the thing between you and your wife? It's like you're
What's
in
the
a
thing
relationship.
between
Yeah,
me and my
yeah.
wife?
What?
Probably love, right?
Yeah,
Probably love.
yeah. All right, that's awesome. Second guy that said that out of 50. Yeah, I mean, I'm joking a little bit out of everybody else, but it is like that. Yeah, all right. So why does it work like it
Yeah, I
works? All
mean,
right.
I have an awesome wife. I have an awesome family. I have an amazing like 15, 16 months old boy. And yeah, life within family is really cool. It's
Mm.
really cool. And what is it with my wife? First of all, she's not a dancer.
All
Okay,
right.
is the
How
first
come,
thing.
right?
Okay,
You
she,
said it
she
before.
doesn't know a thing about dancing. She doesn't know a first thing about dancing.
Okay.
And
All
I
right.
mean, she
Maybe,
likes to
maybe.
party. She
Yeah.
likes to party. She likes to dance, right? But
All right. Cool.
she's not a dancer.
But does she likes
Yeah,
to dance with you?
she's in stress.
Exactly. That's my point,
She's in
right?
stress when she has to dance with me.
Yeah, that is it, right? So when I was a little younger, right, going out, people were saying, "Oh, lucky you, you know how to dance," and I told them, "No, man, I'm not that lucky. You know, once the girl finds out I know how to dance, they get stressed. They don't want to dance with me. They would rather go with a regular guy to dance with me. There are rare girls that are up for that challenge, and you know, with my wife, it's quite similar. So for her, when we were like practicing the wedding dance, she was stressed. That's why I asked, like, how it is for you, right? Even a world champion.
Yes,
I mean, you know, in that regard.
yeah, she's still pissed at me because of our wedding dance. Let's put it this way.
All right.
So, meaning that she says that I didn't take enough time to do stuff because most probably she expected that we will do
Why are
like
you
a
checking your
professional
left all
dance
the
show
time?
or something like
Why are
that,
you
you
checking your
know.
left all the time? What's that?
I'm checking,
What?
maybe she's coming to the room, you know. Maybe I'm checking if she's coming to the room.
Even world champion is kind of his her
Maybe I'm
wife.
I'm waiting for a shoe to fly in, you know. I'm waiting for a shoe to fly in. Yeah. No, I mean, is de-stressing my life the fact that I have a wife that is not a dancer.
Mm,
Dancing has been a huge, I mean, biggest part of my life for sure. And the fact that when I come home, I actually go away from that is actually nice.
mm,
Not that I don't love dancing, not that I don't love dancing world, but the fact that I actually still have something else in my life is nice.
mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can get it. And that was the
it's
question,
interesting.
right? Yeah, how do you deal with that, right? I was just thinking about today. So I, you know, involved in though that many projects, right? And then I have my
Mhm.
family time every day in the middle of the day, right? It's after lunch until 5, 6, and then the evening project starts showing up. So, and I notice myself that I'm so, you know, doing zip zip. I'm all over the place. And then when comes family time, I'm like a little bit lost. Just like everything slows down with the little guy, there is not much to do. He's 7 months old, so more or less, you know, same old for you know, he's doing a new things, new looks, new that. It's exciting, but it's still, you know, kind of a not much movement going on, you know, for those hours. And then when the evening starts shooting in, I'm just like on calls, doing that, meetings, the streams, it's just like, you know, the so
Mm.
how is that for you? It's just like in those hours when you're with them, you just take it off and you say, all right, this is family time, it's time to chillax and, you know, be with them and you know, take my mind off everything else, or is in behind all the time still something have you grinding in behind and not really be present with them?
It depends. It depends of the timetable, right? Because some weeks are really some weeks are difficult. Okay, I have to say that with this Corona time and with this happening right now, I honestly have to be grateful for some part because I actually had more time. I spent more time with my family. I spent more time with my boy, and you know, when all the projects are starting slowly to come back, and I do the work that I was doing before, which is constantly, um, it's difficult to get out completely, and it's difficult to say, okay, this is right now. I'm here with my family, okay, and my phone is doing bling 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 bling. Okay, like 500 messages and 3 calls and 4 calls and 5 calls and 6 calls. And I'm saying like, okay, no, shit. I know that I will have to do that,
Mm.
you know. So it is not the easiest thing, but I really, really try to manage, and I want to manage it. And I know that my family deserves that I be with them, and that I have to try my best because this is number one.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you can never get that back, right? You can always get new couples, but you can never get,
exactly,
your son will never
exactly,
be as old as he is
exactly,
now, right?
exactly. Not that my couples will suffer because of that, but it's up to me and my time managing skills in order to fix that.
Mm.
And this is another challenge.
Yeah, I got it. All right. Since you
Yeah.
said it, you have a boy, and we are both fathers. I'm a little younger father than you are. Anyway, how it was for you, accepting the role of a father? If you remember, since the day he was born, did you just immediately swim in like a fish in the water, or it was challenging to accept it? There is this, you know, in a funny language, I'll say this alien creature right now there that is just popping out of, it's not popping out of nowhere, right? It's popping out of our wives, but still, right? It was not there before. You have one schedule before, then it comes this creature. You're a dad. Exciting. You have no idea what you're doing at the same time. So how it was for you?
I
Or it is for you.
when I was younger, I never liked children. I felt like I never liked children, but they were always sticking directly onto me. They were like following me. They were talking to me. They were all around. My mother is actually a kindergarten teacher, so she works in a kindergarten. So I remember going there to visit her, and with all of those kids, watching you and these things and stuff was, I don't know, I didn't like it. It was too stressful for me. I don't know. I didn't like it. Then I started teaching a lot of kids, and actually it changed my mind a lot. I mean, I started to connect with them. I started to like, oh my god, I just found them so interesting, and I found it so motivating to start working with them. And when the news of me becoming a father came up, it felt like really cool. I was excited, super excited about it. And the only thing that was on my concern was timing. That's the only concern I had. Timing. Will I be able to time my life? Will I be able to time my busy schedule in order for me to give this boy everything that I can? And like you said, I I went all in with everything. I didn't feel like I had any issues with accepting new challenges that were given. Um, and yeah, the only challenge is time. Everything else just happens. I don't know. It happens quite naturally for me.
Yeah, I got it. Awesome. So enjoying the role of a father. You said second one is coming. Um, what
Yeah.
is it? You already know what it will be. What it will be then?
Yeah, another boy. Another
Another
boy.
boy.
Another
Another boy.
boy.
All right. All right. And
Yeah. Only boys, right?
I mean, that's how it is. That's how we roll. I don't know for others, but we and you, that's how we roll, right? It's like we plan, we do it 70% are mistakes. So we are like, all right, it is what it is. We'll deal with the challenge, right? Yeah, all right, awesome, and all right. Do you see yourself as a guy raising your kid in a way what the kid will want, or you have a plan for them?
No, I don't have a plan for them.
No.
Like I told you, I think it was in the beginning that we started speaking.
Mm.
I told you that you just have to find the thing that drives you, something that you imagine yourself doing. And once your kid finds that, you have to give them full trust on that.
Mm.
I mean, you can not manipulate them in a way, but you can, like I
Direct
said,
them.
show them the door,
Right.
direct them, show them the door. This is the possibility. This you can do. This would maybe be clever, but once they decide, step away. It's their job.
It's their life.
It's their thing. It's their life. And if you will support them with what they do, even if they do, like, for you, the most ridiculous thing on the planet, if they are the best in that, they have nothing to worry about. And I will never suggest them that it is necessary and the only thing important in life to go to school, to go to university, to study hard, because it's not true.
Yep. It is not. For some people it is, and for some people it's not.
Yeah, I mean, they have to understand what they want. Some people want a life that is quite set. I mean, they want to study, they want to get a job, they want to do that job, and when they finish at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, they want to forget about their job. They want to live their life peacefully, It's fine. It's completely fine.
Yeah.
They love this kind of thing, and I would support that. Why not? I am not like that.
Yeah, and I find it hard that your kid will be like that. If you're a hyper boost, they will be times 2. So, it's kind of probably be a dancing and football career all on top level at the same time. No, I'm messing with you. but anyway, really, really appreciate it. And thank you for your time and for all the answers and to let us into your life and present what it's, what is behind. And you said everything. No need to sum it up.
Yes, and thank you for your invitation. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I actually enjoyed myself a lot. Thank you so much.
All right, awesome. Yeah, that is also the question there. Whether you left to whether you want to say at the end of show how it was for you. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to talk to somebody who had quite similar experience in life, to some point for sure. And it's an easy conversation.
And you know what?
So thank you for that.
Yeah. No problem, man. I was really surprised that you answered so fast and you said yes, because I was like, all right, he maybe remembers me a little bit. So he's like, all right, another dancing guy, I'll do it. So now I'm even more, to be honest, say humbled, that you said yes and you recognize in what I typed to you that there is, all right, maybe there is something that is cool to do and has potential in it. I guess you saw it as an opportunity, like you said before. Always grab the opportunities, never say no to the opportunity or so another thing we can all learn or apply to our lives and try it out if it works for us as well. And this is it. I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you. Hopefully, when this is over, we will meet in person, spend some time together. Maybe if you are not busy, but
hopefully, yeah.
We'll manage it. We'll plan it, and 17% of the time it won't happen, but 30% it will. Right? And 70% will be like, all right, I got it. He has a family. Okay. All good. See you next year, or maybe 10 years. Maybe we'll be 19-year-olds together in a nursing home in the same room all together, having fun. It's never too late. So, all right, Miha, thank you. Go to your family, hug your wife, kiss your boy, and
thank you so
have
much.
a good one. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And you do the same. Yes.
I will.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah. All right, everybody. You know the drill.
So bye to everybody.
Yeah. Hug somebody. Tell them you love them. If you don't have anybody else, do that with yourself. That is lacking a lot in the world today. So just to say it, Mr. JP said congrats on your second baby. Thank you both. It was great. It was amazing talk show by Happy Cake It. So this is it.
Cool.
Speaking about our lives is always easy. So Miha, have a good one, everybody. See you. There is a tournament coming up on Saturday. We're gonna play it in Call of Duty Warzone. That is also what I do, you know. At the age of 34, I fulfilled my childhood dream that I will win a tournament, and we did it in November, and now we're playing because it's just fun. So
Cool.
yeah,
Awesome.
awesome. All right, everybody.
Awesome.
See you,
Awesome.
Miha. Bye bye.
Good
Have
luck
a
with
good
that.
one.
Good luck
Yeah.
with that.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
I'm also
Bye.
competitive. You know, you gotta drill it somewhere. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.
Peace, everybody.